Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Angie from Burton Avenue and I want to show you how to make amazing things with your Cricut. It's day 15 of my 25 Days of Craftmas series, where I show you how to make 25 different Christmas projects with your Cricut machine. And I also share the SVG files I use to make the projects for free, so you can make them too. Today I am showing you how to make this cute joy palette sign with the mini wreath. It's so simple, but it turned out so pretty. Let's go take a look at the supply list and get started. For this project, you'll need wood for the sign, a mini wreath, red and black paint and a brush, hot glue gun and glue, wood glue, clamps if you have them, a weeding tool and scraper, transfer tape, your Cricut machine, a cutting mat, and the cut file. So grab your supplies and then head over to your computer. The first thing that we need to do is grab the SVG file we'll be using for this project. You can get it for free on my blog at burtonavenue.com. I keep all the SVG files for the projects I make and share in this free SVG library. The files will work with all kinds of cutting machines and they're free to everyone. So once you're on my site, just go ahead and click on Free SVG Files and then Free SVG Library. You will need a password to get into the library, and there are instructions on the screen if you need to get one. Once you're in the library, you can search for the file Vertical Joy. It will either be listed under the most recent projects and cut files or under the category Craftmas 2020 Day 15. You can also use your browser search to find it. Once you've found the file, just go ahead and click on it, and the files will be downloaded onto your computer. When you download these files online, they come in a zipped folder, and you'll need to unzip them before you can use them in Cricut Design Space. To do this, you'll need to go to the location where the downloaded files are saved onto your computer. Once you're there, find that zipped folder that we just downloaded and double-click on it. You'll see another window open, and somewhere you should see the option to extract all. So click on that, and then another window will open. And somewhere on this screen, you should see the destination where the unzipped files are going to be saved. You need to remember this location because you'll have to get to it once you're in Cricut Design Space. So go ahead and click on Extract, and those files will be unzipped and are now ready to use in Design Space. So let's head over to Cricut Design Space and start a new project. Once you're on this canvas screen, go over and click on the Upload button on the left, and then click Upload Image, and then click on Browse. Now you'll want to go to that unzipped folder. Once you're inside the folder, you'll see several different file types listed, and we are going to be using the SVG file. And sometimes your computer might display the SVG file as a Chrome HTML document or something like that. So if you don't see SVG in this list of files, be sure to look for that. So now go ahead and click on the SVG file and then click Open. Make sure it's the file that we want to work with, and then click Save. And select the file one more time, and then choose Insert Images. And now the design will appear on your canvas screen. The first thing we're going to do is resize all these letters so that they'll fit nicely on our wooden sign. So we're going to go and change the width to 6 inches. And we'll leave the height proportional. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is get rid of the O. If you're using a wreath in the middle, you don't need the O. So right-click and choose Ungroup. And now we can select the O and delete it. And then we'll just bring the Y up so we can see it. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is turn these letters into a stencil. And we'll do that by drawing a box around them. So go over and click on Shapes, and then click on Square. And then we're going to change the size of this square to 7 inches. So we'll change the width to 7, and the height will also change to 7. And 7 inches is the width of our sign, and so by doing it this size, it will make making it straight on our sign a little bit easier. So now I'm going to select the J, and I'm going to go up and click on Arrange, and I'm going to click Center Front, so that now my letter will be in front of the square. Now select both the square and the letter, click on Align, and then choose Center. And then finally, right-click and choose Attach. And that will just lock our letter inside of this square. And now repeat all those steps with the letter Y. Okay, so now both our J and our Y are ready to cut. So go ahead and click on the green Makeup button. Now you have two options here. You can either cut this on 2 different mats if you're using your 12-inch by 12-inch mat, or you can change the size to 12-inch by 24-inch, and it will cut both of them on the same mat. So I am going to use my larger mat and cut them both at the same time. So go ahead and click on Continue. And once Design Space finds your machine, you'll be taken to this screen. Be sure that the dial on your Cricut is set to vinyl, and then go load your mat. Place a piece of black vinyl on your cutting mat and smooth it out so there aren't any wrinkles or bubbles. Then load it into your Cricut by pressing that up and down arrow button. When your machine is ready to cut, you'll see the C button light up. Press this and the machine will begin cutting. Once everything has been cut, press the up and down arrow button again to unload your mat. Now that everything is cut, we are going to weed away the excess vinyl. Since this is a stencil, we'll be pulling out the letters inside of the boxes. Once everything is weeded, we need to apply the transfer tape. So cut a piece of transfer tape that's a little bit bigger than your design and place it sticky side up on your work surface. Then place your vinyl on top of the transfer tape. Trim off the excess transfer tape and vinyl backing, and then cut apart the 2 letters. Now we're going to work on the wood portion of this sign. Grab your 2 pieces of wood and sand them both so they're nice and smooth. Then add a bead of glue along the edge of one of the pieces of wood. Then stack the other piece on top of that. Use a rag or paper towel to wipe away any excess glue. If you have clamps, you can clamp the 2 pieces of wood together. If not, you can use heavy objects to push the 2 pieces together. Once the glue is dry, paint the wood red. You'll need at least 2 to 3 coats to get a nice even look on your sign. This next step is optional, but I love how it makes the finish on the sign have a similar look to the finish on the berries of the wreath. So grab some sandpaper and lightly sand the edges of the sign so you remove some of the red paint. Grab a cup of water and mix in a little bit of black paint. Now paint your mixture on the wood sign. Then use a paper towel to wipe off most of that paint. You'll want to do this step quickly so the black paint doesn't have much time to dry. The more you rub with your paper towel, the more paint you'll take off. Once the paint has dried completely, it's time to stencil the sign. So grab your vinyl letters and the mini wreath and place them on the sign. Space everything out so it looks even. Then remove the vinyl backing from one of your letters and position it on your wood sign. Match the straight edges of the stencil with the straight edges of the sign. And by doing this, you make sure that your letter is straight. Then rub over the letter with your scraper and then pull off the transfer tape. Repeat these steps with your other letter. Rub over the vinyl one last time to make sure it is sticking onto the wood. And then paint over the letters with your red base coat. This should help prevent bleeding. After the red paint is dry to the touch, it's time to fill in the stencil with white paint. It's best to do a couple of light coats of paint rather than one thick, heavy coat. So you'll probably want to do maybe 2 to 3 coats of the white. And once the white paint is dried to the touch, you can carefully pull off your vinyl stencil. Now grab that mini wreath and add some hot glue on the back of the wreath. Then flip it over and press it down onto the sign. And that's it. You have another cute decoration for Christmas. Thanks for joining me on another day of my Craftmas series. If you like this project and want to see more like it, be sure to like and subscribe so you'll get notified each time I post something new. See ya!